So, does this sound familiar? As an auditor, you might be thought of as the bringer of bad news. Obsessed with minor detail. You don't see the big picture. You're not part of the solution to the problem. You're just an expensive overhead. Somebody said that to me once. I was very upset. The checkbox at the end. That's what QA is. The checkbox at the end. You don't add anything to what's going on. And this is a very old-fashioned misconception about what quality assurance is, because as we all know, quality has to go in at the beginning, and audit is part of that monitoring of quality, and these are all untrue. So how an organisation can benefit from us, because we can add value through what we do, through the tool of audit. We can even save unnecessary costs. We can look at efficiencies and unnecessary things that are happening, as well as compliance issues. We are there to facilitate continuous process and quality improvement. And so if we write well-structured, proper audit findings, we can facilitate properly formulated CAPA plans. I know we haven't touched that much on audit report writing in today, but just as a general principle, I'll touch on it a couple of times during my presentation. If you write good quality audit findings that are succinct and linked to a requirement, whatever your requirements are that you're auditing to, you will help your auditees to generate a good response. So if you write a huge essay, and it's really difficult in all the fluff to see what the actual issue is, it will be very difficult for the recipient of the audit report to write you a good response. Okay. So, audit responses. We'll start with the bad and the ugly, and then we'll move on to the good. These are real responses that I have seen. This wasn't picked up by the MHRA last year. Funny that, because audit and inspection are all about sampling, so maybe they missed it. This mistake was made by Jane Doe, who no longer works for the Trust. It's not known why she did it. I really got that. It was from a CRO, actually, but I've amended it to make it relevant to today. This process improvement will incur an extra cost to the sponsor. And others have been disciplined and removed from that duty. Our internal QA team has advised this is not an issue. So all of these responses are like kicking the football back to you. No, not going to do anything about it. We're not going to engage in it. We're not going to do a root cause analysis. We're not going to consider it. Straight back at you. Okay? So that's not good quality audit response. So what does constitute a good response? What should we expect as auditors? Well, the MHRA have written us some nice guidance. Has anybody come across this? If you've been inspected, they'll make sure that you know about it. So this is what they suggest when you receive your inspection findings. Make an assessment of the finding. Review it together with all stakeholders there to determine the issue that's been raised, to validate it, to say, yes, this is a true finding. If they're a good inspector, and of course they are, they should have cited evidence. And this is all part of writing a good finding. Cite your evidence. It's objective, it's scientific, it's not an opinion. It's not something you've heard, it's something you've seen evidence of, or lack of evidence of, to support the finding. And maybe that evidence, if it's, say, a missing document or a missing signature, has the potential to be corrected very quickly in itself. The finding applies at least to that cited evidence. It might have other effects elsewhere, but at least it applies to what they've cited. So the organisation, when they're looking at the finding, should decide whether it can be corrected immediately or whether it requires acknowledgement through documentation only. So you could just put a file note to acknowledge, yes, it's missing and we can't do anything about it. Or can we actually correct it?
RQA is committed to driving quality and integrity and developing and promoting quality standards in scientific research and development. RQA facilitates knowledge sharing and transfer through training, seminars, conferences and publications, and liaises with regulatory agencies in the development and interpretation of regulations and guidance. RQA is dedicated to informing and advancing its members, providing status, visibility and support for individuals concerned with the quality of research and development relating to pharmaceuticals, agrochemicals, chemicals and medical devices. Membership of RQA attracts the following benefits: access to news, information and expertise, networking opportunities, forums and conferences, free quarterly magazine, access to industry-specific training with member discounts, interactive website with dedicated members-only area, and generous discounts on a range of products and services. To find out more, go to www.therqa.com or email Research Quality Association at info@therqa.com for more details.